I'm trying to stop.
Hello and welcome to City Skylines Community Challenge with me, the Community Manager Helena, and featuring Community Ambassador Jan again this week. Woo! Welcome, Jan.
Hey, hi.
Are you excited to take on another challenge that the community voted for this week?
I'm excited to plop down a bunch of skyscrapers.
Nice. So this week's theme, if his hint did not give it away, is a financial district. What would you consider is a financial district, Jan?
I think it kind of depends. So I actually did a little bit of research, a little bit of Googling about financial districts, or financial centers rather, whatever you want to call them, because I was like, what the hell's a financial district? The only one I could think of is like Lower Manhattan, right? The big one. So I kind of Googled it a bit, and there's actually different types of financial districts, financial centers. But usually it's like a center where the banks are, the insurance companies,
Stock exchange,
guilds, things like that. So just a lot of that. I got some banks buildings. We got some vanilla buildings we're gonna use in between. So hopefully we can make it work.
Nice. Yeah, if you're not familiar, a financial district or financial center is usually in a major city of most of all countries, and it usually has lots of big buildings. So we're gonna be looking at a lot of skyscrapers, I imagine.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
There's a variety of them. So you've got Lower Manhattan, the City of London, not the metropolitan city, but the City of London, the old core, is a financial district. Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Frankfurt, Paris to a degree.
Yep, Zurich, San Francisco has one. Tokyo, Amsterdam's a big one. Yep. So they're kind of international. Are you going to be inspired by a specific area, or just kind of generally?
I think I'm just kind of going generally. One of my favorites one is the City of London, but the City of London, I can't build something like that in an hour.
No.
Because it's very intricate, so we're kind of going slightly a bit more general today. But I do have some older kind of buildings that will be used, so we'll do a little bit of an older core and then just sprawl it out. But we'll see.
Cool. Well, I think we're ready to get started. If Nurgle wants to put the timer up, and we'll get started.
Do it.
All right, let's go. You got an hour.
I've got an hour.
You're starting big.
It's 5 minutes. So this was Madde already plays this here at some point. So I figured, why not just use it as a kind of a starting point? So what I want to do in this area is I'm just going to do some like older buildings in kind of this area, and then we'll do the newer ones on the other side, so they're kind of looking at each other like in an evil manner. One of the things that I am going to do that I enjoy doing is I'm going to squish buildings into buildings a little bit so that we kind of get that. And it was a smaller building and then it got expanded. So these older buildings in especially European cities, I don't know, internationally, they tend to be used as it's kind of like the stock exchange. So it kind of becomes that kind of central stock exchange, and then you get the newer buildings around it of various. Usually, it's a lot of banks.
Yeah.
So, HSBC is one of those that seems to be everywhere. And then, I did also grab the Deutsche Bank building, Sky Trust, Lipscomb Pit Insurance. So we kind of have. We also do have a little bit of a nod to Sweden, just a tiny bit.
It's a tiny one.
It's very small. It's a very small nod to Sweden. But this is the Karl Astornet in Gothenburg, I think. It's currently under construction. So I figured why not? It'd be kind of a cute little addition.
So it looks like you have quite a few nice looking buildings to add. How big do you think you're going to be building out this district?
I might do this entire area because a lot of these buildings are very big. So it might just end up being this entire area. But I'm gonna start over here and hopefully not end up crying by the end of it.
Yeah, that would be awkward, I think, for not just for myself, who's like a sympathy crier. So if you start crying, I'll probably start crying as well. But anyone viewing might also find it a little bit uncomfortable. Or they might embrace it and start sending fun messages in the chat.
I mean, when don't they? Our chat is always full of fun messages.
It is full of fun messages. So I will be keeping an eye on chat on both YouTube and on Twitch. And
Yes,
I'll
chat.
share with you.
I've decided this time, chat, I am going to just ignore you. And then Helena will tell me what I need to reply to.
Yes. So far, it's a little bit quiet. Although, okay on YouTube has said, "Can this guy make a tutorial on how he builds these detailed cities?" Oh, you've got a fan.
No.
No. Okay.
Maybe.
Mm.
If you convince Helena to pay me, I will do it.
All right. So, what are you building, or what are you doing right now?
So I've kind of started to expand a little bit so that I kind of get a feel. So we kind of have this old stock exchange here, which I've actually decided I'm going to move this tiny building because it doesn't look good. And so I'm just starting to expand out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to kind of keep this central area clear, so that it kind of does have a big focus. So even with various angles, we can kind of see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to figure out where exactly I want to go super dense and super tall, and where I want to keep it a little bit lower, shall we say.
Yes.
And
Yep.
this was just kind of, it felt right.
Nice.
Also, this isn't flat, so we're going to get a little bit of variation anyways. So I kind of want to, I think this side is lower down than this side. So I kind of want to make sure that we have the taller buildings more on the outside and then the lower ones here. And then it's going to create kind of like a balanced skyline.
Nice.
If there is such a thing when you're creating giant areas.
Yeah.
This is something from a lot of fonts, and I have Arena Campus.
Okay.
I have no idea what is in this building, but it's giant.
Yeah. So since you're using a previously built city to plot kind of this financial district, like the roads and stuff were already placed.
Yeah, I might end up removing some of them,
mm-hmm.
or at least adjusting them so that they kind of work for my purposes a bit better.
Okay.
But I kind of wanted to keep them at the same time because it's just a little bit of an extra challenge that I like.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know, I'm clearly some form of a masochist.
Mm. So when we're like, 20 minutes left and
I'm panicking.
You decide at that point, you're like, oh, these streets really should have been wider or something. We'll see the panic sweats start happening. Mm-hmm.
That's when the panic is gonna start. But I feel like we're gonna be able to do quite well because it's, like I said, it's not a very exciting, super detailed build.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of skyscrapers that go in.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's not really. It isn't as complicated as some of the builds we've done before. I'll put it that way.
So do you think that the skyscrapers are going to be what makes this like an interesting project?
I think so, because when it comes to financial districts, they're usually that area is very popular with various large institutions. Mm-hmm. So it kind of creates that big skyscraper, really dense, large amounts of office space kind of feel to it. But I do still want to give it a little bit of a. Give it a bit of a look that looks aesthetically pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I was thinking about is I really wanted this Pan Am building because this is one of my favorite buildings.
Okay.
So I'm kind of think I'm gonna create a little bit of a a drop off awning thingy.
Mm-hmm.
What are those called? I don't know.
Like a driveway? Like a driveway?
Yeah, sort of like a driveway, I guess.
And what about this building makes it one of your favorites?
I had this strange fascination for a long time with Pan Am. And I don't know why. It's just one of those things that happened when I was a kid.
Mhm.
I've always loved airlines, and I still do, and I still Google airlines way too much, and learn about them. But Pan Am was one of those, first big luxury ones that everybody knows.
Mhm.
And then I saw a movie, and there was a scene in the movie where it was a road leading up to the Pan Am building. And it was just it was a view like this, like this.
Mhm.
It was just, you could see the big Pan Am lettering at the top, with like skyscrapers, and it was just road leading up to it. And I found it very fascinating and very exciting. So I ended up it became one of my favorite buildings. It's not super aesthetically pleasing.
Mhm.
It's relatively boring. It's that kind of standard, what, 50s, 60s,
Yeah, I think
70s
they were
American
at the
building.
height. Yeah.
But it's still exciting. It's still unique enough where I'm like, okay with this. Because a lot of later additions, shall we
Mhm.
say, to the Skyline. Well, a lot of the additions at that time were kind of these kind of samey, squarey, boxy,
Mhm.
glassy thingies.
I like how you're
Um,
making all the nouns adjectives, but just adding a Y at the end, like glassy, boxy.
yeah, that's how language works, right?
Yeah,
That's how
definitely.
that's how it works. Fine.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the Pan Am one was just different enough that it kind of caught my attention.
And it looks like you're kind of plotting out where some big ones are, and then there's a lot of like free space right now between them. Are you doing that strategically, like to make sure that you're getting the
Yeah,
big ones? Okay.
I'm gonna try to get the big ones in because it's easier to fill it with smaller ones
Mhm.
than creating a large area with small ones and then trying to dump in the bigger buildings. So I'm kind of giving it that treatment of let's do the smaller ones. Let's see or let's do the bigger ones. Let's see where things fit. And then we'll try to fit the smaller ones in between because it's going to be, at least I feel like it's going to be easier. If it's actually going to be easier, who knows? We'll see.
We'll find out. Yeah.
But I feel like that's the easiest way to do it. I lost the building.
Uh
I lost the building. What are you building? I'm back.
oh. That's a funky looking building. What
I
is that?
know. It is something from one of the fonts.
Hmm.
It's called Three Villages. If someone in chat wants to Google it, I'm sure there's an interesting story behind it.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll see if anyone sends information.
Oh. See, it has this really cool feature. Oh, that's not go away, cinematic camera. Kind of creates a drive under.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know that. Now I do. Now I'm more excited to use it. What it was. Underneath it. We're gonna kind of do that, which means that I can put another one on the building on this side and it'll kind of look connected, which I think will be
Mhm.
exciting. It does mean that I'm gonna have to move this pedestrian path now. A bit more of it. I am going to try to keep some of the features that I'm assuming Madde pre-made in
Mhm.
here.
Such as?
Some of these pedestrian paths, she ended up with a lot of pedestrian paths, or just a couple here and there I've noticed. And then of course the central thing. But I figured if we should keep some of them. But I do wanna. I might just slightly adjust them so that they fit better with our overall scheme. Will these two work together? They might. They might.
They might. How do you determine if something will work together or not?
I usually look on how they are constructed. So, for example, with these ones, because this one has this slight bulge or this slight extra thing here, I kind of wanted to get a building that's already slightly curved, and then I usually take it and adjust it so that it just is at the same angle, but I can hide that little addition inside the other building.
Yeah.
So they kind of look like they're connected when they're really not. It's a secret.
And for people who are new to using mods and connecting buildings in that way, do you use any special mods to do that? Move it.
Always move it. I cannot speak highly enough about Move It. So if you don't use Move It, why? That is my question. Why?
Yeah, if you're someone who uses mods, they should definitely use Move It.
Even if you don't use mods, if you want to start with a mod that's really easy to use, and will allow you to just make small adjustments to make your cities look better, Move It. 100% Move It.
Okay. Scoot889 on YouTube chat says that raised walking paths between buildings is something associated with financial districts. Also, fancy underground rail stations would be good.
Yes. So I agree. I fully agree with that assessment. And we'll do some of it, but we'll see how it goes, because I can't necessarily add underground stations anywhere specifically that would actually work, because we kind of have the rail system already established. But we might be able to do a ground station from the new DLC.
Ooh, cool.
Ooh. Which I found exciting. I really like that one, so we might do something there.
Cool.
Just going to do a little bit of detailing here because I feel like.
Super cute. Yeah, I mean the employees that work there need to go somewhere for lunch. So this looks like a nice little area. You can go to the hot dog stand, grab a lunch, and sit in the little.
It also kind of
green.
slightly hides the concrete here. So, because when you're building cities, you often get these large concrete spots. But if you do just tiny little parks here and there, or just add a couple of trees, it kind of hides it and makes it look a lot better. And I like doing that, just to hide it.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to do with it, just hide it. But that's always a possibility. And it's also something that you should do. So I've reused this building. I'm trying not to reuse buildings. So as I go, I kind of find things that work better elsewhere. So I have to end up moving a lot of things back and forth. But I think it's one of those things that you just kind of have to get used to. There's nothing wrong with reusing buildings. I highly encourage reusing buildings. But I personally try not to when I'm doing smaller projects like this, because it's easily noticeable if you end up taking a building and reusing it. So I try not to do it on smaller projects. If I was doing the entire city, then yeah, there would be a lot of reused since this isn't the entire city, it's not.
What are you doing now?
So I'm dumping in. I've put in the Deutsche Bank. And
Is that the 2 towers?
yeah, these 2 towers. So I'm just trying to find something to put over here. This corner feels a little bit empty for me. So I'm trying to find something to put in there, but I haven't decided. I kind of want to do a random, really badly placed parking garage. Because
Okay.
that just happens, but we don't have any parking garages because I didn't think about that ahead of time. Should have thought about it ahead of time.
Well, what else could you put there if you don't have a parking garage? What else would fit there?
I'm not entirely sure, but I kind of want to just do something silly, something that is like, why would you put that there? Kind of feel to it.
Leah in chat asks if you're using Surface Painter.
Yes, I am. I like using Surface Painter. Surface Painter is a lovely mod that allows us to quickly cover up surfaces. When I'm building on my own, or when I'm working on my own cities, I tend not to use Surface Painter.
Why is that?
Because it tends to not interact well with things. There are certain mods that make Surface Painter not very viable as an option. But when I'm doing something like this, where it's a smaller project, when we're using a very limited amount of mods, then yeah, Surface Painter is definitely one of those that's available to use. But Surface Painter had this problem for a long time, where it would disappear.
Oh.
Things would disappear. So we ended up not. I ended up learning not to use it. I am going to do a little bit of PO over here because I want to use this building. However, it is not friendly. And I know that Move It has a convert to PO function.
And for those not familiar, what is PO?
So PO is procedural objects.
And what does that do exactly?
It allows me to take the building and it gives it these nodes, which you can see pop up now. It's basically where the vertices start or end on a building, but it allows me to move it and manipulate the model to my needs. So in this case, I want to use these. I'm gonna pause the game for this because the game really doesn't like it when you. I'm just gonna. I selected those, and I'm just going to move them so that this creates more of a tighter building, which is very difficult to do when you're not working on your own computer. So for those of you that are wondering, we have to use we're using the company computer, so I am remote accessing it. So it's being a little bit, just a tiny bit unfriendly. But it's not something that I can't work around. I've used PO a lot in my life. Usually 3/4 of my cities are made of procedural objects. And it just useful.
Would you rank procedural objects as like second under Move It, as like must-have mods if you're going to use mods?
No, I wouldn't, because it is quite a complicated mod. So I wouldn't necessarily advise using it unless you've been building things for a while and you're very used to how the game works.
Mhm.
However, once you do get into that kind of feel, 100%, just go nuts with it. Because if you're heavily into detailing, it will just give you so many additional options on how to do things. You can use fewer mods, but use them more efficiently in a larger variety.
Mhm.
So it kind of gives that effect. So I've kind of connected these two buildings now, which I'm actually okay with. It wasn't exactly my intention, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, we're at just over 35 minutes in, so
Gotta
Yeah.
hustle. Gotta hustle.
yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna use a lot of surface painter here because these areas are always filled with concrete. We're just gonna go heavy.
Joshua19 asks, what would you say are the best mods for urban detailing?
Urban detailing, move it. Move it is definitely one of the ones that you need. Find it is something that just is super helpful, so you can search for things that you want. Other than that, it's a lot of assets. Assets are the thing that is going to make your cities look super detailed. Mods themselves are not super. I mean, they're useful. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, move it. Prop and tree anarchy, or I think rather now it's built into anarchy. So that's one of those things that you kind of have to look up because I don't quite remember. But yeah, it's definitely move it. Move it is your number one, and then from there on, find it helps. Some extended toolbar mods help so that you get a nice bigger toolbar. Things like that. It's not. It's difficult to recommend these things because we do have such a large variety. But yeah, those are definitely move it is definitely a very important starter, and then anarchy mods, I would say, would be your next go-to.
And then
just a little bit more things.
Just Dude says, what I'm really missing on Steam is that streamers have mod lists that you can install everything one by one. I would really love if you could click one link and download everything. We usually try to post a link with the different things from the workshop that we are using, so we do usually release that after the stream is over for anyone who's interested. So keep an eye out on our social platforms.
I've already made this one, so I will be releasing that if Steam allows me to do so, because it can be Steam can sometimes not be the friendliest. But and we've had some issues, but I've definitely made it so it is one of those things that you'll be able to grab. It's mostly vanilla. It's not super intensive. It uses some mods that are a little bit more detailed. So procedural objects is one of those things that is a little bit. It requires a little bit more skill. But we do use just a lot of the basics. So I think it's a good match for everyone. And yeah, we'll release it as soon as we can. I work very hard. Make sure every week we have it.
Yes. And Just Dude replied, oh, wow, I didn't know. I guess I was complaining for no reason. So no worries, Just Dude.
There's no such thing as complaining.
Now that you've said that.
There is. However, it is a perfectly valid question, of course.
Yeah.
We try to ensure that everything we do, people can follow along or do their own things. So these are definitely one of those. I don't think we don't have this particular save in there. However, I'm pretty sure I can add it in. So I'll add the save into the group, and then should be up soon. I promise.
Cool.
I do my best.
Yeah. And questions like this are always super helpful anyway. As we have an ever-evolving audience who is joining us for these live streams, we have, people who've been around for a long time who know all of this stuff, and as well as newbies. So it's always good to ask questions if you don't know, and if we don't answer them in the live stream, then chat is usually super helpful with answering questions that you might have. So never feel like you can't ask a question like that. It's super good.
Super helpful. So
yeah.
we do our best. Sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes you do your best, but it's not good enough. I just didn't click. So yeah, chat is always very useful.
Yeah.
And always has questions. Questions are always welcome.
Yeah.
They're one of those things that, because for someone like me who plays this game a lot of things seem intuitive and seem, for me, it's easy to just go and build. But if you ask questions, then I can help you. So you help me by asking questions, and I help you by hopefully providing useful answers.
Yeah. We are just under 30 minutes left, so we're halfway through the challenge. If you are just now joining us or have recently joined us and wonder what is going on, who is that guy, this is what's going on. We have our amazing Community Ambassador Jan is covering for Madde, who's off again this week. She'll be back next week. So he is... It's going to be okay. He is building a financial district in the city. So lots of big skyscrapers, where the banks and the stock exchange and the different really big businesses and major corporations have like a building, and that is what he's building. He's building on a computer and using items from the Steam Workshop as well as vanilla items. So we will be publishing the list of Steam Workshop items after the stream. So if you see something you like, you can check it out afterwards. And that is what we're doing.
Yep. It's fixed because I slightly broke something over there. So I do a quick
What did
fix.
you break?
One of the roads, because I'm just very good at what I do. So I broke one of the roads by accidentally plopping something, which happens a lot. It's something that you should get used to. When you're building, when you're detailing, especially, you end up having a lot of little accidents. However, little accidents can be welcome. So these two buildings work incredibly well together.
Yeah, it looks like it was built that way.
It wasn't, but they work incredibly well together. The cladding is very similar. So I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of its own thing over here. I think this one's made by Jens. It's the International Trade Center from Berlin.
Oh, cool.
The other one I don't know who made it off the top of my head. It's one of those that just is. I am going to, because here, slowly, gonna run out of time otherwise. I'm going to just use some zoning over here, and hopefully we get offices sprouting up. I'm just using the office zones from the base game. So hopefully they sprout up a little bit to kind of fill up the area. And over here in this downtown, I'm now gonna start going to town.
All right.
Just gonna have to hustle.
Yeah, we
Um,
got just over 25 minutes left.
oh
my buddy.
It's always exciting. The problem with mixing vanilla with these buildings is that the vanilla buildings are a lot smaller.
Yeah.
However, you can if you plan it well, it can kind of work. One of the things that I do recommend is if you're using a lot of modded buildings, kind of go in a slope so that the moddeds are on one side and then you have the vanilla ones more towards the other side, because they are quite a bit lower. So I'm going to use a lot of vanilla kind of in this entry area, sort of over here, and then it will go into the bigger one. I just need to decide which ones I want.
Plus, that would sort of make sense if you're looking at that area, like some of it was maybe built a few decades ago, when building styles were different and what was considered innovative,
At
30
that
or 40
time.
years ago, is very different than what can be built these days. So it would make sense to have the buildings of different heights.
Yeah, it's also completely reliant on. I was gonna say building protocols, but it building protocols, that isn't the correct word. That is not the word I was looking for, but somehow building protocols came out. No, it's entirely dependent on what the city allows you to build as well.
Mhm.
So we are using a lot of these vanilla ones. These are from the Ryuichi's content pack, the content creator, modern Japanese, I think it was, that he made. So we're gonna have some of those in, because they do, again, they add their own lovely variety. I'm gonna move this one over to this side, because what I've tried to create is I've tried to artificially expand the kind of the central park we have going on by using buildings in the corners that have corners.
Oh, cool.
That is so nondescript. What I mean is they have this kind of cutoff so that it kind of creates a little bit of a larger artificial area over here, which I thought would be a good way to kind of expand the kind of the central park area. Obviously, these districts tend to get very, very dense, so you will have a building that's like an iconic building and then just something that sprouts up right next to it.
Yeah.
And then you're left wondering if they're part of the same kind of construction or not. Usually not. I was looking at New York. New York is a good example of it recently. Is they're using these because there's such a limit on the amount of there's so little space that's available, that they've started really building these really tall, really slim buildings, which I found very interesting because they're really, really, really skinny, but really tall. But at the same time, you look at it and you're like, how does that work? How do you create that and make it work so that it's actually useful? There's a part of it now called Billionaires Row, where it's on the edge of Central Park, but it's really just that. It's just these really thin, really tall skyscrapers that, to me, don't make sense. But apparently they must. But it's one of those things. Yeah, these financial districts tend to, because everyone tries to concentrate in the same area, they tend to get very dense very quickly. And then it just doesn't. Do I not have...
Madde has signed into chat. She says, hello, I have been watching in silence, silently judging. So,
Of course she has. Madde, do we not have tree anarchy?
She has not responded yet, but if she does, I'll let you know.
I think I'm missing it. Oh, never mind. Found it. I had.
Good.
Okay. I had tree collision. I had road collisions enabled, which I didn't even realize. Gonna create a little bit of like a green road here. Just with these.
Cute.
Yeah, we kind of have to fit things in where we can. So a little bit of greenery here, a little bit of greenery there. A big push with modern construction, even in these districts, is obviously green. Going green, self-sustaining, what have you. So I kind of want to slightly recreate that. We have this space in here that really bothered me. And I thought
what are you going to do?
I am going to do something. Maybe use a different building to kind of bridge the gap in. But we do have these vanilla buildings that are very lovely, very skinny, very small, very small, so small. But it might work. We'll make it work.
Oh, and that one's got a like little smokestack situation going on.
That smokestack slightly bothers me. That's the one thing that slightly bothers me is the smokestack, because you don't really get smokestacks in these locations.
No, you don't tend to think
sense.
No, it's not industrial so much as other places in a city would be.
One, you have to have something that I can shove in between those. Nope, nothing other we. Also gonna turn the custom buildings back on. So one of the lovely things about Find It is that you have an option to disable or enable custom buildings that you can use, whether or not they show up or not.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, which is really useful when you're doing when you're trying to use both to a high degree. You also can filter by building. So
nice.
I'm filtering out. So now we only have growables and RECO buildings. So RECO buildings are residential, industrial, commercial, office. But it's a mod that's very useful. RECO mod, if you're doing a lot of detailing, then I highly recommend using the RECO mod, because it will allow you to filter out. It will allow you to actually use the buildings.
Speaking of the smokestacks, we have some comments on them from chats. Darval on Twitch says, "Well, even New York has steam vents." And then Gaming says that is where companies burn their financial evidence. So it would fit if that were the case. We could definitely include that information in the world building that we're doing with this financial
kind of make it a that's where the Panama Papers went. Is what chat is saying, which makes sense. They had to go somewhere. I'm quickly using this vanilla building. It's part of the, I don't remember which DLC anymore. It's part of one of the DLCs. It's a unique building. It was part of Concerts. It's kind of I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the where's this node? There's a node here somewhere. It's part of, I think it's supposed to be, it's a media broadcasting building, so it kind of works well.
Yeah, you can kind of see all
the antennas.
And the satellite dishes, which would also make sense in a financial area. So
yeah, you do tend to. I mean, Rockefeller Plaza is definitely one of those that kind of is a fully a symbol of that. What else can I? Ooh, I like that. Where can I put you? Oh, and you're on a diagonal.
Well, that's one place you could put it. I don't think
Exactly.
traffic appreciates it. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. However, I had to put it down so that I can then
Yeah.
use move it to move it into position because it is because of the way it is set. It's a workshop asset, so it didn't exactly like me. But it does work actually over here. Now, someone was mentioning walkways between buildings, and I'm kind of really intrigued on how I can do that. This kind of really tight space.
Yeah, maybe between those two matching blue buildings. Yes, that one.
I kind of want to do like a weird one that goes like from here through here and then out that way.
You're getting crazy, but I'm here for it.
I kind of want to use because this has this kind of walkways, so I kind of want to use it. Let's see, paths. We need a path.
Mm.
Did Madde give us any invisible pedestrian paths? New.
We are around the 15-minute mark now, so you've got about 15 minutes. Are you feeling nervous? Feeling confident that you'll get the crown? How are you feeling?
I'm okay with it. Why can't this go up?
Yeah. Madde responded, "Did I give you something? Don't blame me."
Madde, I am using your collection. So, who else am I gonna blame? Myself? That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works, Madde. Going to use pedestrian path over here. All the vanilla ones. And I'm just gonna slightly hide it. So it's a little bit hidden inside. There we go. Just a tiny bit underneath. It's having some issues over there with terrain. We'll fix that. Don't worry, chat. I won't let you down. Probably. I'm doing my best.
He's doing his best. It's all we can ask of him.
Yeah. I don't have much, but I will do my best.
Yenta's Grease News asks, is there a little plaza with the fountain and coffee shop for those informal meetings and coffee breaks that the people need?
No, not yet.
No.
But there will be.
Okay. Whew.
There will definitely be.
All right, good.
I'm just going to... I think I'm just going to terminate it on this side. And be like, here, go down. And then on the other side connect it. And hopefully they'll actually use it. So it right now kind of goes through this building.
Oh, cool.
Kind of goes through and then comes through out on this side. Now I just need to connect it on the other side to somewhere where it would make sense. I think I might have it go out here through this building and then connect to this path down here.
Nice.
Somehow, which currently also leads into the building. Didn't even notice that. I mean, totally planned.
Totally planned. Yeeting Schnitzel wonders if you're going to be using old Art Deco buildings at all.
Maybe.
Fair enough.
I'm trying. Haha. Maybe because I'm trying to do a bit of detailing now. Because that was one of the things that I kind of didn't do in the last one. So I kind of want to do a little bit more of that. So maybe.
Yeah. And do you enjoy doing like the detail work? Is that?
I love the detail. The detail work is probably my favorite. But detail work takes a lot of time. And
So
I
you're
don't
saying
have a lot of time.
Yeah, you're saying these hour challenges don't lend themselves to great detail work?
They do and they don't. You can detail small area. I'm going inside the building so I can
Ooh.
find the end of this path.
Mm.
They do and they don't. So they're very two-sided.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted. It didn't do what I wanted.
Oh no.
They do and they don't. They're very. You can do detailing, but it's not going to be as detailed as I normally would do it. Having issues. Having issues.
Yeah, I mean, you've got just over 10 minutes to figure out these issues. So there's
It's more of a.
still some time.
It's more of a. I'm having issues with. Having issues with connecting to the other computer.
Oh no.
God damn it.
Yes, the wonder of technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really loves me. Really. Yeah. Yeah, they're connected.
Okay.
We're just gonna pretend. We're just gonna pretend.
Yeah, there's someone walking. I see him.
Yeah.
Good job. You did it.
I'm gonna move this slightly over here. And then we're just going to pretend. Whatever this note is. We're gonna just pretend that when they come in, they go down into this thingy.
Mhm.
It's fine. It's fine. Totally where that goes.
Definitely. Noxerl has joined and wonders where the last 10-minute panic tree is, if that's going to be happening.
Oh yeah, we'll do panic trees right now. That's definitely what's happening. We're adding panic trees. Ashley, I want to see if we have anything that's coffee related.
Yes.
We have the burnt bean logo. We have a floating cafe.
That's cool.
However, it's floating.
It's like literally floating?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because it's supposed to go on water.
Ah, got it.
However, this is where procedural objects come in if they work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it doesn't work well with this one. God damn it.
Oh.
God. I thought we had coffee.
Yeah, maybe cafe. Maybe look up cafe or something like
cafe. Yeah. Aha.
that. My work here is done. Psh, psh.
Catfish cafe? What are we calling it? Catfish? Do we want the catfish one? Liberal arts, trade school.
This is...
We'll do a little modern park cafe.
Yeah, that's cute.
I'm gonna adjust the height of this building. Apparently, this building is sunken into the ground. It's going to work. It's fine.
Yeah.
Totally. Cafe. I'm just gonna.
Game Much Game says TikTok, good sir, TikTok.
I know. Don't start with me now.
Oh, super cute. Yeah.
A couple more of these. And then I need an umbrella. Parasol.
Do they need umbrellas? I mean, if they're among all of these huge skyscrapers blocking the sun, does it even need an umbrella? I mean, clearly for your visual aesthetic, it needs an umbrella, but practically speaking.
I can't find an umbrella, so it's fine.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay. Panic trees. It's time for panic trees.
Yes. We've got around 7 minutes, a little bit less.
Okay, so I've got plenty of time for panic trees.
Plenty of panic tree time, yeah.
I actually have an idea.
Ooh, what are you gonna do?
I am going to grab pedestrian path. This one. Why is it lifted? I don't want it to be lifted.
Oh, Silvar55X on YouTube says rather than parasols, they would need wind covers against the high wind between the skyscrapers.
That is
So
true.
those trees
That
are
is-
very helpful then. They'll maybe do some blocking.
Yeah, they might help. I'm looking. I need props. Do we have any like art props? I want an art prop.
Mhm.
Ooh. That isn't gonna help me either. My problem is what's my problem? I don't know what my problem is. That I exist, I guess. I'm just gonna create like kind of a little bit of a. I don't even know what this would be. It's kind of a walkie markety thingy.
Walkie markety, yeah. We're using the Y adjectives again, yeah?
I am very good at using the Y adjectives.
Nice.
Okay, clearly.
Okay.
There's my control button. So I'm just gonna move this over here a little bit, like this, like so, and then I'm gonna rotate. And I'm just gonna make them a lot less dense.
Bouncing Cow over on Twitch chat says, Panic Trees, did you go to Maddie's school of CS Panic?
Yes,
Yes.
we all have.
Yeah.
We all have. We are well versed in panicking.
Mm. Well, with the timed challenge, especially, I think it's
The time challenges are especially one of those where it's really easy to start panicking because you're like, oh, what do you mean I've got 5 minutes left?
Well, technically, you have less than 5 minutes at this point.
Oh no! Don't tell me that.
Okay. I mean, you've got plenty of time to.
You're supposed to lie to me.
Yeah, am
I don't know,
I?
but I wish you did.
Okay. YouTube chat saying, I don't think Maddie has panic trees. They're comfort trees.
No, they're definitely panic trees. They're definitely panic trees. I've looked and they're panic trees.
So what are you doing now? You're just
I am
treeing up,
throwing in all the trees.
treeing up that little park area.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. I'm just using Maddie's panic tree pre-made presets.
Presets, nice. Yeah, you know she's got them.
Yeah.
And Maddie says she likes that, the comfort trees idea.
They're very friendly. There's a bunch of Maddie panic trees.
Yeah. She loves a good tree grouping.
Yep. They are really using this. Look at them go.
Yeah. They like
Good.
it. You
They're
built
like,
something
"Oh
that
my
was very
God."
useful. This is amazing.
They're like, this is the best thing to happen to us since sliced bread. I want to put something small over here as well. It's a
Yeah.
cafe.
Something. Yeah.
A different one.
Yeah.
This one. And look at how cute that is.
And the people are happy. It's so
It's
cute.
a zoo cafe.
Oh, okay. Well,
If it works.
well, they call this area a concrete jungle, so it
What
would make
dreams are
sense.
made of.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Indeed.
I wanted to let me plop this building.
Yeah, I don't know.
There we go. Huh!
What did you do?
The game didn't like me.
No.
Where's this PO? How did Z? See, this is another problem I have, which is that it's just a keyboard. Keyboard Z and Y are inverted. Nothing works like it's supposed to. I'm just going to slightly shove this in. It's fine. It just adds a cafeteria to this side.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to quickly find some trees that I don't hate.
I mean, that's a glowing recommendation. Like, what's great about these trees? Well, I don't hate them.
Yeah.
Really
How
nice.
do you define what is a good tree?
I
One
don't
that you
know.
do not hate.
Yeah. And we are around a minute left.
Okay.
You can do this. Ooh, cute.
I can do this. I can do this.
Mhm. You can.
I want to do it. I want get these benches in. Yeah, just give them a couple benches so they can sit. They are slightly no, they're not floating actually. It's just the terrain isn't flat. For aesthetic purposes, I'm gonna quickly shove a building back here. So that I can take nice screenshots later and pretend that everything went fine.
Well, that's it. It's screenshots. It's really about the screenshots.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I haven't used this HSBC building, which I was really excited to get.
Oh, very cute.
Because I think, if I am not mistaken...
10 seconds.
What do you mean 10 seconds?
I'm saying you're wasting time by asking me. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. You did it. It's done. How does it feel? Something. You did something. You built an entire financial district.
I wish I had 2 hours. No, I'm okay with it. I think this bit turned out well, just around this park. I think it turned out good. Really helped that I placed that building there. But I'm kind of sad I didn't get to do more of this, like finish off the district. But it's definitely, you can tell it's a business district.
Yeah, Cuboid says great job, Jan.
I did my best. The comfort trees. It's the comfort trees. That's what made it. It's our comfort trees.
The comfort trees. What was your favorite part?
I don't. Because this one's so interconnected, I don't think I really have a favorite part. But I'm quite liking how this kind of central stock exchange came out. With the 2 buildings inside each other. Well, 3 technically now, and this kind of more modern extension. I'm really happy with the way that came out. But I think my favorite bit of this is this. It's just this view. Maybe it just this is probably my favorite. Just the view.
It feels like a very very
all the way down here,
skyscrapery area. And you can see like the public loves it. Excellent.
Yeah, we've got plenty of public.
Yeah.
I feel.
Wow! Yes. Look at that.
It kind of definitely feels right.
Yeah. Super powerful. Bouncing Cow is asking if you can switch over to a night view.
Yes. Let's do that. We can do that. We can make it night. Neom.
All right, let's check it out. Ooh, pretty.
So it's this one has a lot of lights on it, but that's not something I can control. I mean, I can sort of control, but it's definitely, it's very bright.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
What was the biggest challenge, would you say?
I think it's just making it feel, I guess organic isn't really the word, but sort of.
Yeah.
It's just making it feel that organic, not like it's just a bunch of random buildings put together, but kind of making use of as much of the space as we can. And not making it look like Yeah, not making it look like there's a bunch of random buildings together. Trying to make the buildings work together, I think, is the biggest challenge with this.
And what tricks did you use to accomplish that?
So one of the things that I really like doing is I like pre-plopping. Is that a word? Putting down buildings in an area and then looking at the textures on them, so that I try to find things that kind of match together. Which we did, like for example over here, these are 3 different buildings by 3 different creators, I believe. These 3 over here, and the fact that we managed to find a way for them to match together and make them look as a cohesive unit, I think is very, very nice. It's one of those things that you kind of have to try, but that I think is the trick, is trying to make them look cohesive via textures or via just the design of them. Sometimes it's just design. You can have buildings that look very familiar or very similar to each other, like these 2. They don't necessarily have the same kind of texture. They're not exactly the same design, but they work together because they're similar enough.
Yeah. Well, I think it looks pretty exceptional. Are you ready to see how chat views it?
Please, chat, be kind.
All right, chat, send us your ranking, 1 through 10. 1 being it's not great, 10 being it's amazing. And if Jan gets more than like 6 or 7 as an average, she will win the crown for the week.
I will win the crown.
Yeah, so I'll start reading out numbers as soon as they start coming in. I am seeing 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10 is what I see. 8 out of 10, not enough panic trees and lack of parking spaces. 10 out of 10, great job, Jan. Why does my city not look like this? Sad face. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
One of the things that I can recommend, chat, that I would always recommend, is play with LUTs. Find an LUT that works for you. Which is one of the things that we've done. Is definitely one of the things. So Ultimate Eye Candy, probably your best friend when it comes to making things look nicer.
Yeah, really, really sharp. 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10 for the moonshot. 9 out of 10 from Yentas Grace News. Legendary 40-30, so it's 10 out of 10 for the center. But like Jan says, the outer bit could use a bit of work.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I see there's a bush in the middle of a road, so that's minus a point. 9 out of 10.
Wait, there is?
Apparently.
It's the comfort trees. It was the comfort trees.
10 out of 10, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple of trees here that are...
Yeah. You know.
I'm just going to ignore those.
Yeah, just ignore them. 8 out of 10.
I think I've won. I've elected chat. I think I've won.
10 out of 10, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say that chat was pretty pleased with the outcome this week. So
I think it did very well. I'm quite proud of it.
Yeah.
I just want to keep building it out, though.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem. Now I just want to keep going.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do that in the off time. Obviously, like, we will have to say goodbye pretty soon so that the surviving game can have their live stream at 4:30 CEST. But that doesn't stop you from continuing to build out your little all your financial dreams after we say our farewells. Do you have your crown?
I do.
You can put it on. You've earned it.
I can put it on. I can have a crown.
Yeah.
Look at me go.
Oh.
I am so pretty.
Silvar55X said pie out of banana, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that's
Pie
probably
out of banana pie. I could go for some banana pie.
Yeah, that would be delicious.
I think we might have to go for banana pie.
I like it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So excellent work. Again, thank you for covering for our beloved Madde, who's on a kitty cat vacation. But she'll be back next week. But you'll be back throughout the summer. We'll probably have a little bit more specific dates coming soon on when people can visit and watch you. What?
I will. I will be.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be back. You've got. I mean, you know, you've already told.
I've got a fan base now. I
I
have to come back.
You have a fan base. Yes. I love it. Yeah. It looks really good.
I know.
Congratulations.
I'm really, really happy with it.
Yeah.
I think it turned out really well.
Good. All right. Well, we will be having a special episode next week. Since it's Pride Month, we'll be doing a Pride-related theme. So if you have cool like assets that you think would be cool to add, make sure that we know about them, and we'll be looking forward to that theme next week. And so there won't be a vote next week for the theme. We already have it set, but we'll be back here next week, same time, same places. Have a lovely afternoon, and check out.
Find us on all social media at City
all
Skylines.
the social platforms. Yes, and stick around for Surviving coming up next.